Welcome back to another episode of the FHS Podcast. Today we talk about investment outlooks and exciting markets and products for hospitality development. I have a pleasure to host today Giuliano Gasparini, the Head of Hospitality Asset Management for WASL Hospitality. Giuliano, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, WASL is a very well-known company, and I would love to hear from you. What are the market trends that you're currently most excited about?
If you're talking about as a professional asset managers, then one of the most important is that I see the hospitality industry getting more and more sophisticated through time, especially in the top tier segments. I think everybody will understand that 5-star means absolutely nothing nowadays. Within this bucket, you have different hotels, completely a world apart from each other. Brands like Radisson, Ritz-Carlton, Rotana, and Mandari do not really belong to the same space. So this segment has been differentiated a lot between classic luxury, lifestyle or barefoot luxury, experiential luxury, ultra luxury, uber luxury. We are running out of words. So one is actually next for this section. That is something that will trigger also a much higher ADR. So far, experiencing very little results. I'm very curious to see and watch this space.
And what do you think that the outlook for hospitality is for 2025 and beyond? What are you expecting to see? Do you expect to see more of this ultra luxury? I love all the types of the luxury that there is. So do you think there's going to be even more? How do you see this developing?
Well, I would reply with a question, which is, where's the proof? People thought that the Maldives were the only destination where you could reach more than $1,000 a night. And now that magic is being repeated in plenty of other destinations. So clearly that's not a taboo anymore. With the right product, the right location, the right brand, the right experience, it is possible to be replicated. So now I guess the target would be who can achieve first $2,000 a night. So that's probably a kind of bet that we have to watch and see.
Do you think it will happen very soon? Because it seems that this luxury doesn't have, it's endless.
When you look at the premium or top tier room categories in certain spaces, in certain hotels, they travel on more than $5,000 or $10,000 a night. So clearly there is quite of a large market that is looking for very specific experience, very specific brand, and very specific location, and is happy to pay any price for it. So those people don't have the crisis in their portfolios. So it's a market that is very stable, and that's what everybody wants to be appealing to at the moment. So very interesting to see what will happen.
Giuliano, you've been in the hospitality for years now. So what's your preferred product?
I would not be able to mention any specific brand, but I identify myself mostly with an experiential luxury. So very happy to travel to remote areas of the world for the right experience, and especially if it comes with a good level of service. And, price is probably the third factor for me. But location and quality of the experience are definitely worth the 80% of the KPIs when deciding where to go.
I can tell hotels very much like you being their guest. The prices comes the third. Tell me, in the business that you do, in everyday work, what excites you the most when you wake up and you know that there's a new development or a new purchase or a sale going on, or maybe a new opening? What actually brings your smile and you just love to do?
Well, what I do prefer is actually continuous asset management, meaning how to try to bring value either in the cash flow or in the real estate book value of the property by doing something different than operators, and not do operators are very much involved into operations. That's why they're called operators. So it's the role of the asset manager to look at the portfolio from a wider perspective, look at the property potential from a wider perspective, and also grab lots of new trends that are happening in the market and see how to develop on your day-to-day activities and try to work together with the operators to create something new. One of the trends I am really studying hard is ESG, for example, because in Europe it's definitely a big thing. In the GCC is definitely coming, but there is lots of lessons learned that we can get from Europe, so to avoid repeating certain mistakes. And it's inevitable, it's going to come. So we know already what the future entails. Maybe we need to start getting ready for it. There's lots of opportunities to not only decrease the carbon footprint and the emissions and the impacts of the travel and hotel industry, but also eventually to completely offset it and to create revenues, additional revenues for the hotel. So it's not just a win, it's a win-win-win.
It is indeed. And you're right, in Europe, it's really a strong movement around ESG for a couple of years now.
In the new book, which is going to be published recently from the WASL, which is the Unified System of Account, there will be a completely new section that monitors the performance of the hotel in terms of energy consumptions. So this means we will be able to compare hotels across the world and see which one is more responsible, which one is less responsible. That will give lots of transparency. I guess nobody wants to be at the bottom of that list. Everybody would like to be at the top. So we better start getting ready for that competition before the books gets implemented.
But it will be nice finally to have the way to measure everyone the same way, because until now there were different classifications and you could never really tell what is the end product and how green it is. Now, finally, that's really great to know. One last question. So we were talking about, you said from the asset management perspective, you said you look at the product and see how it can be improved. So a couple of years ago, we had an increasing trend in F&B, then we had wellness, then the ESG kind of came. Is there anything that you're seeing now except for ESG that being very much in the focus and that is going to be a next trend? Tell us the secret so other owners can also implement it.
Well, if I tell you the secrets, I would have to charge you for it. But what I would like to say is that F&B gaming is becoming so sophisticated that the traditional hotel operators have realized that they cannot handle it, which is a great thing. Look at the marriages happening in the last few years between Accor and Ennismore, or lots of flourishing partnership between hotel operators and specialized F&B groups, which are called restaurateurs, which are extremely successful. These F&B groups, they entered the same venue that was operated by the hotel, and they're able to produce profits that are well beyond any hotel operator capabilities or even an owner's expectations. There is an old philosopher called Socrates. He was saying that knowing that you cannot know everything is already half wisdom. So I'm really glad that the operator have started being a little bit more wise and realized that they need some help in F&B.
And that's where the operators will like this a lot. But let's hope you are. And I completely agree with you. And yes, it's also visible in the wellness segment, in the gym segment. Some brands are entering the hotels and they make it more profitable than the hotels.
Unfortunately, the deal is very, very different. It's more sophisticated. You need to attract the local population into your F&B, not just your hotel guests. And hotel mindset is to attract people from abroad and from other locations. So the beginning of the mindset is completely different. Your database, your mailing list is completely different. So, with the specializations in the industry, I think it's normal that you have F&B operators taking more the role on this subsegment.
And these partnerships eventually bring more value to the local environment, to guests, and to the hotel and the operator of the facility that is running it. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Absolutely agree. Now, in fact, things are getting so exaggerated that you have restaurant brands becoming hotel brands. So, in a way, it's getting even more towards the extreme of that area. Now, we will have to check if our restaurateur can provide the same hotel service that an operator that have been in that field for decades is able to do. So now they are at stake. Let's see what's going to happen.
Exactly. We'll see. Giuliano, as always, it's a great pleasure talking to you. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in FHS World in actually less than 2 weeks. So whoever is listening and hasn't registered yet, please do, because we're going to have more than 200 speakers, more than 1,500 delegates, and it's going to be an amazing event. Giuliano, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Marina, and see you soon at FHS Dubai.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.